Today on the channel, it's Morphin time once again with the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Super 7 Ultimate Edition Megazord.
And the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Here and welcome back to the channel for another Super 7 Ultimate Edition unboxing and review. In today's video, from the latest and greatest from the Mighty Morphin Power Ranger line, we got the OG, we got the Megazord. But for all your Megazord needs and a whole lot more, make sure you're hitting up Super 7. Use code KYLEP when checking out. You can also, of course, grab Super 7 stuff at Big Bad Toy Store and Entertainment Earth. Links in the description below. But the latest and greatest wave from the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers is shipping now, and these just came through the door here, and I'm diving in. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to bust into this one here as the Megazord. Like I said, the first one you really came to grips with. Before there was the Dragon Zord and some of the other Zords from all the other incarnations of the Power Rangers. This was kind of the first one. Had that feeling of Voltron, a little bit of feeling of Transformers, then a lot of different things from Japan, of course, over back in the day and still to this day. But a very, very memorable action figure and, I guess, character, even though he didn't have anything to say in the show, but a very memorable one here. And you knew when the Megazord would form up that, man, business was picking up as well. And of course, speaking of business and picking up, we're going to do this review like we do all the other reviews on the channel. We're going to take a look at the packaging. We're going to talk about it. We're going to unbox it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to see where it goes from there. So without further ado, let's see what this Megazord is up to. First thing I noticed, a little bit of heaviness on this one. A little bit of heaviness. And I should also show this off. Of course, the shipper mailer boxes in brown seem to be gone, as we do not have this one with this one either. We talked about that a while back. I think they decided, hey, we don't really need these. That's some cost savings across the board. And I think for the most part, they are right in that. No issues with this, no damages, anything like that. But you do got the Megazord on the front. You get kind of that coin looking thing right there on the front, looking good. Of course, classic Mighty Morphin Power Ranger logo colors. And speaking of that logo, it is right on the back there looking good. I'm here for that. See you later, goodbye. But then, of course, underneath the slipcover, we got the Mighty Megazord looking only like a Megazord could look from the Super 7 line. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers right there. Megazord, big, big window box, Super 7 logo at the top. All kinds of stuff inside the packaging. Nothing too crazy on this side. A little bit of lightning over there. Then on the back, we get a little glamour shot there. We get a little bit of a blurb. Let's see what it says about our old friend, the Megazord here. The Megazord, the ultimate weapon of the Power Rangers against the forces of evil. The Megazord is a perfect fusion of all 5 of the dinosaurs: Tyrannosaurus, Mastodon, Pterodactyl, Saber-toothed Tiger, and Triceratops Dinozords. Using their power crystals, the Power Rangers can form the Megazord Mighty Battle Mode, wielding the Mega Power Sword along with the Mastodon Shield. Evil stands no chance. And oh, shout out to Evil. You're in for a bad day out there. That's the way it goes when you're dealing with the Rangers, and especially a big old Megazord like this guy in beautiful purple background packaging. I like the looks of that. How about that? See you later, goodbye. And then we get the heavy, heavy Megazord. Whew, I can't really smell. There's a smell to this, but man, I just got like a contact high from this. The paint doesn't get fresher than that, so I'm doing whippets here at the table is almost what it is going on. But looking crazy there, that Megazord smells like he's right out of the factory, but looking good, there's no doubt about it. But a lot of twist ties, things like that, so I'm going to take it offline, get the Megazord out, and we're going to be talking all things Megazord. All right, we got the Megazord out of the package. Let's dive in. Let's start with the accessories first, per the course, per the usual, and let's start off with some hands here. Of course, this Megazord came to fight, and he came to do it robot, I guess, not mano-a-mano, but he does have 2 fisted hands right out of the package, and then, of course, you got some gripping hands out of the package. Very, very light hands on this one, too. I expect these being this silver chrome color. For some reason, I thought these were going to be really heavy, but no, extremely light in the hand department. 2 fists, but they are gripping hands here. Of course, you're going to need that to grip the big old sword. And speaking of the sword, you always need 2 hands when gripping your sword. That's what we got going on here with this Megazord. Looking good, looking straight on brand here. Got kind of the triangle of terror right down here, much like a Bermuda Triangle. If you get hit with this, you're in trouble. Big point at the end. Nice silver blade. Looking nice with the sculpting in it. You got some of that gold inlay going on. Beautiful black handle, silver chrome around throughout, spinning all the way down to the bottom with the extra to kind of bring the colors together here. But it is a nice big sword. About the same size as him. It is a big sword, as we do know. We've seen it in the TV series back in the day. It is the finisher. It's the finisher when that thing just slices through him. Slices them right through like butter. Like butter is what happens there. We do get our Power Ranger coin, and we do know these work at many restaurants all over. And I have heard, now correct me if I'm wrong, somebody fact check this. Todd McFarlane was chirping up from the couch, but he doesn't know what he's talking about. But we do have Panda Express. You go to Panda Express, you get a bowl with one. Usually most people get the sesame chicken, orange chicken out there. I guess orange chicken at Panda Express. Most people do get that. And you can get one of those with rice, just a straight up bowl. If you want to give this coin away, do you? I don't know. I wouldn't do it myself. But it is the Megazord coin. It's the same image from the package, of course. And then on the back, you got the graphics. Same thing we see on all the coins. But a big, thick coin. A nice little gimme with this one. A very, very nice throw-in piece. Probably not for everybody. I don't really need it. I look at it once. I put it in a dresser drawer and save it for a rainy day. And I think one of these days I'll have so many of these coins, my great-great-grandkids will stumble upon it one day and say, there's treasure. What is this treasure? And they're going to think they're, the Peter Pan kids or something. Who knows? But the more you do know is the better, as we do know as well. So there you go. But we do get these two little Rangers, and we've seen these in the past. We're building out the Little Ranger team, and I do like this for scaling purposes because, let's be honest, this is about the size of a normal Ranger toy from the Super 7 Ultimate line. So you kind of got to displace belief a little bit here, and you pretend these are your Rangers, and there they are scaled up against the Megazord. That looks a heck of a lot better size comparison-wise here. Makes sense. I get why they do that. And in a perfect world, if you have room, you got your Rangers and stuff like that on a shelf. Then you got your Zords on a different shelf. Maybe you have the monsters there. If Rita made them grow, you can put them there, or you can put them with the normal Rangers. You got to pick your poison, pick your battles, choose your own adventure at the end of the day. But you do get the yellow and pink Ranger here. Very easy to, of course, obviously tell this is the pink and yellow Ranger, but not a ton of details on their face. But man, these are very, very small characters. And these almost remind me of the great game Fireball Island from back in the day. I believe a Parker Brothers game. Possibly. I think Hasbro maybe has the rights these days. But it reminds me of the characters on Fireball Island. You'd put them on and that ball would come down. If you've never played Fireball Island, man, you missed out. That's all I'm going to say. Check that out. Fireball Island. Shout out to you. Then we do get the big old Mastodon shield here. We know exactly what this is. A Mastodon as a shield, but it looks on brand. There's no doubt about it. Looking really good here. Love the colors on it. You got the green, the black, the red, the chrome. You got the trunk. I was going to say elephant trunk, but I guess Mastodon trunk on the front there. Just a really good one. And then, of course, a black handle on the inside. It's a shield, after all, at the end of the day. But now we get down to the main event. We get down to the old Megazord here, and it definitely looks like a Megazord. Like I said, it reminds me of Voltron. That was kind of the first kind of thing like this I remember for being a little kid. And I was even a little young for Voltron, but I remember seeing it a little bit out there. And this is what this really reminds me of. And I'm sure if you have a history of fandom with this kind of robots things like that from Japan over the years, there's been many incarnations, many different ones, as we do know. Voltron and many others. But that's what it always kind of reminded me of when I first saw this for the first time. But always cool, always bright and colorful. Of course, we know the Rangers build their Zords together and they form this big old bad guy. Love the blue Triceratops down here with the horns up. And then you got the Sabretooth down here with the horns up as well. Looks really good. Good color, no color imperfections anywhere that I can see anywhere here. We talked about the two Fists of Fury looking really nice. Really good silver chrome colors, and of course, like I said, mixing in with all the different colors across the board here. Looking nice there. You got a lot of black, you got a lot of red. Got a lot of good times here. And then on the back, you got some of the treads, you got some of the tires. Built in, sculpted in all over here. The big old, I always thought of these as smokestacks out of the back, but it kind of like looks like that. But looking good. At the end of the day, it is the Megazord. This is exactly what you think it is. All day long and twice on Sunday. The head on this one looking good. Of course, the horns and kind of the samurai head going on. Very on brand for the Megazord. Looking really good. Yellow eyes, silver mouth, black on the sides. Once again, all day long, I know this is the Megazord. But how is the articulation on this one? Of course, head up and down, back and forth. Think plenty of room as far as head movement goes. Arms go up pretty good, and there's a nice tightness to those arms. These are a little heavier arms, but they do also go all the way around. Shoulders go up and back. Side to side at the elbow. Single jointed elbow, of course, we're used to. Not a ton of articulation there, but a little bit of movement. Good movement on the hands right here, back and forth, up and down. Hands removable, as we talked about. Got waist articulation here. Let's see. Not really. Not really. Oh, no, I take that back. It was just a little tight, but we do get waist articulation. Pretty good seam cuts right here as well, as I didn't think we had that, but it is there, so it does blend in. I always do like that. We see that with a lot of figures, especially G.I. Joe Classified in the thigh. We got a little of that going on here. Little split action, not a whole lot, but once again, it is not Spider-Man. A little bit of a rubber diaper underneath here. That does make sense. It kind of gives it a little bit more flexibility, a little bit of movement there. We do get the leg that goes out. Once again, you are limited by that, so not a ton of movement. Not a ton of movement there. These knees do move. I do see them, but they are very, very tight. I'm going to have to hit those with a hairdryer. I am a little worried. If I try to really bend it, I could snap it off. But there is a joint back there. You can kind of see where it would. So you will have knee articulation to use if you need to. Ankles, what do we get? Feet back and forth, side to side. And a little bit of up and down. A little bit of up and down. We do got a peg hole on the bottom. See how that looks. See if it fits. Oh, fits perfectly on the ringside collectible Mattel stands. Fit perfectly on there, but I don't think you really need that at the end of the day, as he will stand on his own, as long as you got him lined up like any other figure, I guess. But he will stand on his own if you need him to. There we go. There we go. Standing on his own. But very, very nice looking Megazord. I can see this not being for everybody because I can see some people wanting a giant Megazord, like a giant Transformer, and then with their 6-inch ones. But it all depends what kind of space you're dealing with in your collection. That is always a tough time. Space is really inhibits a lot of fun, is really what it does. When you run out of space, you've kind of ran out of fun at the same time. And I think that's what happens with some people with these. But for what this represents, and me being, I don't know if a novice Power Ranger fan would be the right word. I like it up to the Ivan Ooze movie. After that, I really lost track. But I really enjoyed the first couple of seasons of Power Rangers. Really enjoyed a lot of the characters. And this was very iconic. Whenever I see this, it reminds me of getting ready to go for school. And I knew the minute Power Rangers was over, Kyle, you better get hoofing it. You got to get to school. And that's exactly what I did. So very, very memorable to me in more than one reasons. Very cool, and a must-have. If you're going to have all these Zords and things like that, you got to have the Megazord. He is the Grand Poobah of the bunch, there's no doubt. And it'll be interesting to see if we get the regular ones keeping on going, because we did get the Tyrannosaurus, which I do have right here. And it's very interesting how the Tyrannosaurus is bigger than the Megazord, but once again, it all kind of is, you know, smoke and mirrors a little bit with how you display your things. But we got this one. Are we going to get the rest? Are we going to get the Saber-Tooth Tiger? Things like that. We know the white Tiger Zord. Doesn't sound like he's going to be in the cards. We'll see. We'll just have to wait and see what happens there. But you can see that scaling. Of course, we do got that Dragon Zord. We actually got two different versions of this Dragon Zord, but this is the one most people really do remember. And these two even squared off, if we do remember the old Green Ranger saga back in the day. But once again, I feel like he should be taller. Definitely taller than this one. Maybe not this one. Maybe the same size. I don't know. But he does feel a little bit smaller right there. That is me, and that is my thought. You guys sound off in the comments down below. And then possibly my favorite Super 7 Ultimate Power Ranger figure yet. This Goldar is unbelievable. I absolutely love this Goldar figure. And that seems a pretty good scale right here against the Megazord. These two squaring off, of course. Goldar didn't grow all the time, but when he did, he was going to take on that Megazord, as we do know. So very, very interesting, because you know when you break it down, you know, there's some people I'm just buying the Zords. There's some people I'm just buying the Rangers. Some people buying everything, and of course, some people buying nothing. That really gives you all the answers right there. But for me, I'm all in on this line. I'm enjoying this. I know some people are Lightning Collection fans. You like what you like. You don't what you don't. I wanted these as representation of my Power Rangers, and then I'm dabbling in the Lightning Collection. Recently here, the Lightning Collection, I've been using them for the ones with their helmets off. Rangers with helmets on is how I'm doing my Super 7 Ultimates. Getting a little best of both worlds, like a young Hannah Montana is what I'm doing. But the mighty Megazord here today, definitely a must-have in my collection. But what about your collection? Is this for you? Do you have a different version you prefer? Do you not need the Zord? Do you need all the Zords? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Of course, you made it this far. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Turn on the old notification bells. We got videos every single day, and then some. And we got even more content for you on Patreon, including early access to both YouTube channels' videos, bonus content, you name it. It's all over there on the old Patreon. Patreon, best of all, supports the channel. You can also support the channel at ProWrestlingTees.com. Search Kyle Peterson. And don't forget social media, SirPaul64 on the X, _Kyle_Peterson on Threads, and on Instagram. So for the mighty Megazord, I'm Kyle. See you guys all real soon.